Commitment. That's the one thing standing between the life you have and the life you want. It's the difference between the dreamers and the doers. See, everybody starts with excitement. Everybody starts with motivation. But not everybody stays in the game when it gets tough. Not everybody keeps grinding when the lights are off, when the applause stops, when the feeling fades. Commitment, that's what separates the winners from everybody else. Let me tell you something. Talent is great. Intelligence is useful. But if you don't have commitment, none of that matters. Because commitment is what keeps you going when everything in you wants to quit. It's what makes you push past pain, past fear, past doubt. It's the fire that burns when nobody is watching, when nobody believes in you, when even you start to question yourself. Think about the greatest athletes, the greatest entrepreneurs, the greatest leaders. What do they all have in common? They stayed committed. They put in the work when they didn't feel like it. They stayed the course when others walked away. And because of that, they achieved what most people only dream about. I know some of you right now are struggling. You want to quit. You've been working hard, but you don't see results. You're tired, frustrated, maybe even broken. But hear me when I say this. If you quit now, you'll never know how close you were. If you walk away, all that pain will be for nothing. But if you commit, if you decide right now that nothing will stop you, then I promise you, success is just on the other side of your struggle. So today, I'm going to break down the power of commitment and how it can change your life forever. Commitment is your superpower. It's what turns dreams into reality. And today, you're going to learn how to harness it. Now let's get into it. The real battle isn't won when you feel like quitting. It isn't won when things get tough, when the obstacles start piling up, when the world is testing your patience and your will. No, the real battle is won long before that. The real battle is won in the moment you decide. The moment you say to yourself, I don't care what happens. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care what I have to go through. I'm going to do this no matter what. See, most people think commitment is something you figure out along the way. They think they can just start something and then decide later if they really want it. But that's not how it works. That's not how champions are made. That's not how success is built. You have to make the decision before you even start. Because if you wait until the struggle comes to decide if you're all in, you've already lost. Think about it like this. Have you ever seen a soldier go into battle without knowing if he's willing to fight? No, he makes that decision before he ever steps onto the battlefield. Because when the bullets start flying, it's too late to start questioning if you belong there. If you hesitate in that moment, if you doubt yourself for even a second, you've already lost the fight. And life is the same way. Life is going to test you. It's going to throw everything it has at you. It's going to push you, challenge you, break you. And if you haven't made the decision beforehand that you are going to stick it out, no matter what, then the moment things get hard, you'll fold. That's why you got to decide now, not later, not when things get tough. Right now, you've got to make a promise to yourself that you are committed, that you are locked in, that nothing and no one is going to shake your focus. Because when you truly commit, when you say to yourself, I will not quit, I will not back down, I will not stop until I win, that's when you become dangerous. That's when you tap into something deeper than motivation, something stronger than willpower. That's when you tap into purpose. You ever wonder why some people succeed while others fail? Why some people seem to push through every obstacle while others crumble under pressure? It's because the ones who succeed already made their decision. They already burned the bridges. They already set their mind in stone. There's no if in their vocabulary, no maybe, no I'll try. There is only one option. Winning. Think about the greats. Think about the legends. Michael Jordan didn't decide in the middle of a game if he was committed. He decided long before he ever stepped onto the court that he was going to be the best. He decided that every practice, every drill, every rep mattered. He didn't leave it to chance. He didn't leave room for excuses. He didn't let himself have an out. Kobe Bryant used to wake up at 4 a.m. to train because he knew he had to outwork everybody else. Not because he felt like it, not because he was in the mood, but because he had already made the decision. The work, the pain, the sacrifice, that was already accounted for. He didn't have to question it. He didn't have to negotiate with himself. It was non-negotiable. And that's how you have to be. You have to eliminate the back door. Too many people give themselves an escape plan. They say they want success, but the moment things get tough, they're looking for a way out. They're looking for an excuse, a reason to quit, a justification for why it's okay to walk away. But champions, they don't do that. They don't even allow the thought of quitting to enter their mind. When you decide before you start, you remove all hesitation, you remove all doubt. You take control of your destiny. Because the truth is, most people fail not because they don't have the talent, not because they don't have the ability, but because they never fully commit. They never go all in. They never remove the doubt, the fear, the hesitation. And hesitation is what kills dreams. Hesitation is what keeps you stuck. It's what makes you second guess yourself. It's what makes you wonder if you're good enough, if you're capable, if you're ready. But let me tell you something. You're never going to feel ready. You're never going to feel like the timing is perfect. You're never going to wake up one day and suddenly have all the answers. That's not how life works. That's not how success works. You just have to decide. You just have to make up your mind. And once you do, once you commit fully, once you go all in, everything changes. Because now you're not thinking about quitting. You're not looking for an escape. You're focused. You're locked in. You're moving forward no matter what. That's the difference between the people who make it and the people who don't. The people who succeed already made their decision. The people who fail are still deciding. So what about you? Are you still deciding? Are you still going back and forth in your mind? Are you still waiting for the perfect moment, the right conditions, the easy path? Or are you ready to commit? Are you ready to say, I don't care what happens, I'm doing this? Because if you are, then you've already won. If you are, then no obstacle, no setback, no challenge can stop you. If you are, then it's only a matter of time before you succeed. But you have to decide right here, right now, before the struggle comes, before the pain hits, before life tests you. Because once you decide, once you truly decide, there is nothing in this world that can stop you. Pain, the very thing most people run from, the very thing most people try to avoid is the exact thing that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. It's the great divider. It's the filter. It's the test. And most people fail that test because they don't understand one simple truth. Pain is the price you pay for greatness. You can't escape it. You can't bypass it. There is no shortcut. If you want success, if you want to win, if you want to be great, you have to be willing to embrace pain. Not just endure it, not just survive it, but embrace it. You have to see pain not as something to fear, but as something to use, as something to lean into, as something that's making you better. Because let me tell you something. Everybody wants success until they see what it costs. Everybody wants to be at the top until they realize the road to the top is paved with struggle, with sacrifice, with nights of self-doubt, with days of exhaustion, with moments where you feel like you're losing your mind. Everybody wants the reward, but most people aren't willing to pay the price. And the price, it's pain, it's discomfort, it's failure, it's rejection, it's pushing yourself past what you thought was possible, it's giving everything you have and still coming up short. It's waking up early when you don't feel like it. It's putting in the work when nobody is watching. It's making sacrifices that other people aren't willing to make. You see, pain isn't your enemy. Pain is your trainer. Pain is your teacher. Pain is molding you, shaping you, preparing you for the success that you say you want. The problem is, Most people want the results without the resistance. They want to be strong without lifting the weights. They want to be champions without putting in championship level effort. They want to be great, but they're not willing to suffer for it. But the truth is, the ones who embrace pain are the ones who succeed. The ones who are willing to hurt, to sacrifice, to struggle, those are the ones who rise. Because pain is a tool. Pain is fuel. Pain is what makes you unbreakable. Think about a diamond. It doesn't start off shining, polished, and valuable. It starts as a lump of coal, worthless, ordinary, but under pressure, under extreme heat, that coal transforms. It becomes something rare, something valuable, something that people admire. And that's exactly what pain does to you. It refines you. It shapes you. It burns away the weaknesses, the excuses, the self-doubt. Every time you push through pain, every time you refuse to quit, every time you keep going when everything in you is screaming to stop, you become stronger. You become sharper. You become a force to be reckoned with. But here's the thing, most people quit before they ever see the results. They hit a little resistance and they fold. They feel a little discomfort and they walk away. They don't realize that every time they quit, they are robbing themselves of the growth that pain was trying to give them. They don't realize that the struggle isn't meant to break them, it's meant to build them. You ever wonder why the greatest athletes, the greatest leaders, the greatest minds in history all have stories of struggle, of pain, of setbacks? It's because pain is part of the process. It's the price of admission. If you want to be great, if you want to win, you have to be willing to go through the fire. Look at Muhammad Ali, one of the greatest to ever do it. People see the victories, the championships, the fame. But what they don't see are the countless hours of training, the moments of exhaustion, the sacrifices he had to make. But Ali once said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. That's the mindset. That's the mentality. You suffer now so you can shine later. Look at Michael Jordan. Everybody talks about the championships, but they forget that he got cut from his high school team. They forget about the pain of losing year after year before he finally broke through. They forget about the hours, the sweat, the work he put in when nobody was watching. Success doesn't happen without pain. Pain is the proving ground. Pain is the separator. Pain is what weeds out the weak and elevates the strong. So here's my question for you. Are you willing to embrace the pain? Are you willing to keep pushing even when it hurts? Are you willing to outlast the struggle? Because if you are, if you refuse to back down, if you refuse to quit, then success is inevitable. It's not a matter of if, it's just a matter of when. But if you run from pain, if you let struggle break you instead of build you, then you will never get where you want to be. You will stay average. You will stay stuck. You will stay in the same place, living the same life, wondering why success keeps avoiding you. See, most people think pain means stop. Most people think struggle means they're on the wrong path. But the truth, pain is proof you're on the right path. Pain means you're growing. Pain means you're pushing beyond your limits. Pain means you are getting better. So stop avoiding it, stop running from it, stop praying for an easier life, and start praying for the strength to handle the challenges that come with a great one. Because every champion, every winner, every person who has ever accomplished anything of value has one thing in common. They didn't let pain stop them. They let pain shape them. And if you want to win, if you want to reach the top, if you want to be great, you have to do the same. You have to embrace the pain. Motivation is a lie. It's a temporary high. It's that feeling you get when you watch an inspiring video, when you hear a great speech, when you see someone else achieving what you want. Motivation gets you excited, gets you fired up, gets you moving, but it doesn't last. It fades. It disappears the moment things get hard. The moment life punches you in the mouth, the moment you don't feel like doing the work. And that's where most people fail, because most people are waiting to feel motivated. They are waiting for that spark, for that rush, for that perfect moment when everything aligns, when they feel like putting in the work. But let me tell you something, if you rely on motivation, you will lose. goals. If you wait to feel inspired before you take action, you will never accomplish anything great. Because the truth is, motivation is inconsistent, but discipline is not. Discipline is what separates the winners from the losers. Discipline is what keeps you going when motivation is gone. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. Discipline is hitting the gym when your body is sore. Discipline is grinding when you don't feel like it. It's showing up and putting in the work day in and day out, no matter how you feel. That's the difference between people who succeed and people who don't. The successful ones, they don't wait to feel motivated. They move, whether they feel like it or not. They understand that success isn't built on feelings. It's built on habits. It's built on consistency. It's built on doing what needs to be done even when you don't want to do it. Look at the greats. Look at the legends. Do you think they felt motivated every single day? Do you think Kobe Bryant wanted to wake up at 4 a.m. for practice every morning? Do you think Michael Jordan wanted to spend extra hours in the gym when everyone else went home? Do you think Elon Musk wanted to keep pushing forward after every failure? No, but they did it anyway because they weren't driven by motivation. They were driven by discipline. Discipline means you don't give yourself a choice. There's no debate, no negotiation, no excuses. You do what needs to be done no matter what. You don't say, I'll go to the gym if I feel like it. No, you go because it's part of who you are. You don't say, I'll work on my business when I have time. No, you make the time. You don't say, I'll study when I'm in the mood. No, you study because you're committed to your future. The problem with most people is they live their life based on how they feel in the moment. They wake up and check how they feel, and if they don't feel like working, they don't. If they don't feel like pushing, they don't. If they don't feel motivated, they quit, and then they wonder why they're stuck. They wonder why they keep failing. They wonder why they never reach their goals. It's because they let their emotions dictate their actions instead of letting their commitment do it. But the people who win, they don't care how they feel. They don't care if they're tired, if they're sore, if they're frustrated. They show up anyway. They do the work anyway because they know success doesn't come to the most talented, the most gifted, or the most motivated. Success comes to the most disciplined. So the question is, are you disciplined or are you just motivated? Because motivation is easy. Anybody can be motivated when things are going well, when the sun is shining, when life is easy. But discipline is what gets you through the storm. Discipline is what keeps you moving when everything in you wants to quit. Think about it. How many times have you started something, fired up and excited, only to quit a few weeks later? How many times have you told yourself you were going to change, only to fall back into your old habits? How many times have you let your feelings control you? That stops today. Today, you make the decision to stop living based on motivation and start living based on discipline. You make the decision that you will do what needs to be done no matter what, that you will stick to your commitments no matter how you feel, that you will keep pushing forward no matter what obstacles come your way, because that's what it takes to win. That's what it takes to reach the top. That's what it takes to build something great. And let me tell you something. When you master discipline, when you take control of your actions, when you stop waiting to feel like it and start moving, regardless of how you feel, you become unstoppable. You become a force of nature. You become the kind of person that nothing, not pain, not setbacks, not exhaustion can stop. So stop waiting. Stop hoping for motivation to save you. Stop making excuses for why you can't be consistent and start showing up every single day, no matter what. Because when motivation fades, and it will, the only thing that will keep you moving forward is discipline. There's a moment in every journey, in every pursuit of greatness, where the world will tell you to stop, where the people around you will question why you're still going, where even your own mind will whisper, is this even worth it? And in that moment, you have two choices: give in or push forward. See, most people quit not because they lack talent, not because they lack opportunity, but because they lack endurance. They don't understand that success isn't a sprint, it's a marathon. It's not about how fast you start, it's about how long you can last. Because in this game, the one who stays in the fight the longest is the one who wins. This is where most people fail. They start strong. They go hard in the beginning. But when the excitement wears off, when the obstacles show up, when the results don't come as fast as they expected, they fold. They stop. They convince themselves that maybe this isn't for them, that maybe they weren't meant to do this. But the truth, they just didn't last long enough. Endurance is the ability to keep going long after the motivation is gone, long after the excitement has faded, long after the struggle has worn you down. Endurance is what separates the ones who make it from the ones who don't. It's not about who's the most talented, who's the smartest, or who got the best start. It's about who refuses to quit. Let me tell you something. Success doesn't come to the fastest. It comes to the one who refuses to stop. You ever wonder why some people rise while others fall? Why some people make it to the top and others fade away? It's because the ones who succeed simply lasted longer. They kept grinding when others gave up. They kept pushing when others stopped. They outlasted the struggle. They outlasted the doubt. They outlasted the pain. Think about it. Every great athlete, every great entrepreneur, every great leader you admire, they all had moments where they could have quit, where everything in them was screaming to stop, where it would have been easier to walk away, but they didn't. They endured. And because they endured, they won. Look at Thomas Edison. You know how many times he failed before he invented the light bulb? Over 10,000 times. Most people would have quit after 10 tries, 100 tries, maybe even 1,000. But 10,000? That's endurance. That's refusing to quit. That's staying in the fight long enough to win. Look at J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 different publishers before one finally gave her a chance. Most people would have stopped after the first few rejections, but she kept pushing. She outlasted the no's. And because she endured, the world now knows Harry Potter. How about Sylvester Stallone? The man who wrote Rocky was so broke at one point that he had to sell his dog just to survive. He was rejected over and over again by Hollywood, told he wasn't good enough, that his script wasn't worth it. But he didn't stop. He endured. And when Rocky finally got made, it became one of the greatest sports films of all time. What about you? How many times have you quit because things got hard? How many dreams have you walked away from because you didn't see results fast enough? How many goals have you abandoned because the process took longer than you expected? Let me tell you something. Nothing great happens overnight. Success is a test of patience. It's a war of endurance. And the people who win, they're not always the best. They're not always the most gifted, but they are the ones who refuse to give up. See, most people quit right before the breakthrough. They stop digging 3 feet away from goal. They walk away from the finish line when it's just around the corner. Not because they weren't capable, not because they didn't have what it took, but because they didn't have the endurance to push just a little bit longer. And that's what separates winners from everyone else. Winners have grit. Winners have stamina. Winners have the ability to keep moving forward even when everything in them is screaming to stop. So let me ask you, are you willing to endure? Are you willing to keep going? Even when it feels like nothing is working, are you willing to push through the setbacks, the disappointments, the failures? Are you willing to stay in the game when everyone else is dropping out? Because if you are, then it's only a matter of time before you win. But if you're not, if you're the type who quits when things don't go your way, if you're the type who gives up when the results don't come fast enough, if you're the type who folds under pressure, then you will never reach the level of success you're capable of. Not because you don't have what it takes, but because you even last long enough to see it through. Endurance is what turns hard work into results. Endurance is what transforms struggle into success. Endurance is what separates those who dream from those who achieve. So make a decision today. You will not quit, no matter how long it takes, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what comes your way. You will keep going. You will push forward. You will outlast the struggle, outlast the pain, outlast the doubt. Because the one who lasts the longest, that's the one who wins. Listen to me right now. Today, you have a choice. You can keep making excuses, You can keep waiting for the right time, the perfect conditions, the easy way out. But let me tell you something. There is no perfect time. There is no easy way. There is only commitment. Every successful person you admire had moments where they wanted to quit. Every single one of them faced obstacles, setbacks, failures. But they made a decision. They decided that no matter what, they were going to keep pushing forward. They decided that no amount of pain, no amount of struggle was going to make them give up on their dream. And you got that same choice. You can either keep wishing, hoping, waiting, or you can commit right now. Today, some of you are waiting for the feeling to come. You're waiting to feel motivated. But that's the problem. You're relying on feelings, and feelings are unreliable. Some days you'll feel like it, some days you won't. But commitment doesn't care about feelings. Commitment says, I don't care if I'm tired, I don't care if I'm scared, I don't care if it's hard, I'm going to show up anyway. That's the mindset that changes lives. That's the power that turns average into unstoppable. So I want you to think about your dream, that goal that's been sitting in your heart, that thing you've been putting off, doubting, delaying. I want you to ask yourself, am I really committed? Or have I just been interested? Because there's a big difference. Interested people do things when it's convenient. Committed people do it no matter what. Interested people give up when it gets tough. Committed people dig deeper. Interested people talk. Committed people do. So the question is, which one are you? Because today is your moment. Today is when you stop making excuses and start making moves. Today is when you stop saying, I wish, and start saying, I will. Today is when you draw the line in the sand and say, I don't care what it takes. I don't care how hard it gets. I'm all in. Commit right now. Make the decision that you will not stop. You will not quit. You will not back down until you see your dream become a reality, because the power of commitment is the key that unlocks everything you've ever wanted. And the only thing standing between you and success is your decision to go all in. Now, let's get to work.